So this isn't my story. This is an actual story. This is a true story that happened
Okay.
of a farmer in a far off country who had heard about other farmers becoming very, very rich finding diamond mines. So you can go to the next slide there, Sue. So he decided to sell his farm in order to search for riches of the diamond mine. So he went ahead, sold his farm, and went off all over the continent looking for the diamond mine. Over the years, he searched and searched unsuccessfully until he became very old and very despondent that he was not successful and he did not secure the riches of these diamond mines that were getting huge prices on the market for these other farmers. So in a fit of despondency, he threw himself into a river and drowned, never to be heard from again. But meanwhile, back on the farm, the farmer who had purchased the farm was walking across the property, came across the creek in the back, and saw this bright, shiny blue and red glimmer in the water. Sat down, picked it up. It was a good size rock, held it in his hand, thought it was a crystal or something, and thought it was pretty cool. So he took it back to his house and he placed it on the mantle of his fireplace. So a few weeks later, he had a guest over. Just so happened he noticed the rock on the mantle, took a look at it, he almost passed out. He couldn't believe what he was looking at. And he asked the farmer if he knew what he had found. And he goes, yeah, I think it's just, a piece of crystal. And the guy said, no, that's not at all what you found. You literally found one of the largest diamonds that was ever found in that continent. And, the farmer had a hard time believing that because in the same creek, there was thousands of those rocks, maybe not as big as the one that was on his mantle, but nevertheless, there was a lot there. And so obviously the moral of the story here, for those of you not picking it up, is the original farmer who threw himself into the river because he did not find his riches had owned free and clear his own acres of diamonds. And sort of the moral of the story here for businesses is your data is your diamonds. Okay. So every business, for the most part, has data of their customers or people that are coming to their website that they can use in their attempts or their search to grow and retain their business. So I think a lot of business owners are guilty of selling their farm or looking for greener pastures. A lot of times they say people that think that the other pasture is greener. Maybe that person is just taking care of it a little bit better. Maybe the person that you're looking at their pasture, someone else is looking at yours and thinks it's great. So I think the moral of the story is make sure that you are harnessing the power of your first party data, which we'll talk about, and utilize it in your business, and don't go off, searching or buying the first shiny object that comes across because you're trying to generate more leads, more sales for your business when you already have sort of your acres of diamonds within your business itself.
I think that's a good story and a good lesson, but how do I take action? So what is it that we're missing right now when we think about the diamonds that are in our property already, right? Like, what is it that we're missing?
Sure. So I think the thing that I want everyone on this presentation to take away is we're going to all become advanced marketers, right? We're going to go from beginning, learning about the beginner's guide to data-informed advertising to being advanced marketers. And I want everyone to start thinking about not traffic to their website, but I want you to start thinking in terms of audiences. And it's not traffic coming to your website, but their audiences, and everyone that comes to your site is in a certain, they're all at different levels of buying propensity. Some are just starting their search. Others are well down the road for their search, and others are ready to buy right now. Some of your people that come to your website are obviously displaying different behaviors because of that. So I think thinking in terms of audiences and how do I build more audiences so that I can segment audiences, and based on what those people are doing on your website, activate them with marketing tactics based on where they are in the buying cycle. Now, in the past, we didn't have to worry about collecting so much of that first party data because, we had the old tracking cookies, the third party tracking cookies, which is basically a script of code that goes on a website to website and tracks user activity across each one of those websites. And we would collect that data. Marketing agencies, companies, businesses would buy that data, and then they would use that data to start marketing to those lists. Well, now with the demise of third-party tracking cookies, the reliance on first-party data is going to become much more important for businesses. So we all need to be thinking about what is our plan, what is our strategy to, number one, and we'll talk a little bit about this depending on where Subi takes me with it, but what is your strategy for collecting more first-party data, and what is your strategy for the data that you already have? And then the big thing is that we have to remember is what are we going to do with the data? So we're talking to a lot of businesses out there that are spending a lot of money on something called a CDP. For those of you who aren't familiar with that term, a customer data platform, which is basically a place where you can gather all of your data into one place. And that sounds really cool and good. But the question for you as a business owner is, once you have all of that data, what are you going to do with it? It's one thing having the data. It's another thing to actually make it actionable. So
that is one of the biggest questions.
Again, so this is just a little bit of the beginners. We talked about the demise of third-party tracking cookies, why those are going away, privacy reasons. We're seeing it more and more, legislation, etc. So this is why now we need to rely more heavily on our own first-party data.